Guess who's back? Back again. It's Antonio Brown. Let's talk about that. Antonio Brown flames Tom Brady for his dramatic NFL exit. And that's all I wrote in my notes for this, just for context for anybody watching this. Because I like to have notes going into anything that I do. I like to just have a couple things written down just so I can try and kind of put it all together when I do talk about it. This one is just funny to me. I don't know about you, Caleb, but this is just like, at this point, why are we even still talking about this guy?
Yeah, I mean, he demands like all of your attention just because of how like absolutely insane he is. That the latest. I mean, this is just the latest, and still a series of just dumbassery. He obviously he had everything that led up to him running out of the MetLife Stadium without a shirt on, but like even now he's still in the news because he's owns some sort of team in some sort of like arena football league or something, and he's like not paying his players. Like,
oh, I didn't hear about that. I heard him getting fined for something or other. I didn't hear about him not paying his players.
Yeah, he owns. I gotta get more.
Oh, it doesn't matter.
He owns some sort of arena football team.
Yeah,
the arena football team is
right.
preparing a lawsuit against him because he didn't pay his players.
He probably doesn't even have the money.
Oh no,
Dude,
he doesn't. Yeah, he owns the he owns the Albany Empire.
How much money do you think his rap album really made?
Can you make negative money? Did you listen to that?
I did. I did back then,
listen?
But it's been.
Oh my god! It's been years, but I can still hear the echoes. It's like. I think that's etched into my brain forever as the worst thing that's ever graced my ear canals. It was horrendous. But I
can say that I could say the opposite, because I think that it's one of those things where I feel like once I hear it, I'll instantly just faint in like it's just gonna all come back to me, and they're gonna have to like put me in one of the the suits. Like I'm gonna be stuck in like a white pillow room for like a year. It's gonna be one of those things. I feel like my brain has permanently forgot that for me. But
I think your brain did you a service.
It probably did. We can probably talk about what Antonio Brown's claims are, which are interesting to me. Just hearing, obviously, we've already heard Tom Brady, Bruce Arians' side of it. Now Antonio Brown has been releasing his thing 1 year at a time, like a Marvel movie. We're probably gonna get like the big thing in like 10 years where they like bring together him and like I don't know who's another guy. It's gonna be like some sort of big Avengers thing. Who knows? I'm going down a different thing, but he claimed that the Bucs forced him to play through an injury. Obviously, that's the first one that's kind of interesting. I don't know if there's anybody's really done any actual research into that. If there's anything that if there's any proof Antonio Brown was injured. He also said that the Bucs treated him like a dog. And Tom Brady gassed him up into saying he'd throw to him 12 times in the Jets game. So those are the three things that I did write down about what he did say, because the rest of it was complete nonsense. I'm not even going to lie to you. I've read a lot of Sports Illustrated articles in my time. I don't even know with this. it's all over the place. Like, that's anything with Antonio Brown.
Yeah, no. Honestly, I wouldn't be shocked if there was some sort of truth behind all of it. Like, a lot of NFL players play through injuries, right? Like, I read...
in any sport, that's not an uncommon thing.
No. I read when a couple of years ago, Steve Young's autobiography, and he talked about, like, playing through some insane injuries back in his day. He like tore something or other in his knee, and they sent in the NFC Championship, and they just sent him back in the locker room, gave him like as many painkillers as they had, and sent him back out there.
3 pounds of steroids.
Yeah, exactly. So I wouldn't be shocked if he was playing through some sort of injury.
Of course.
But it's because it's Antonio Brown. It's just he makes a bigger deal out of it than it like is, right? I'm sure those things happened, but picture this, like picture a conversation with Tom Brady where he's like, bro, like I'm so excited to get you out here, like I'm gonna hit you
Yeah.
like 10 to 12 times. Like he's like,
Does that sound like Tom
obviously
Brady?
is obvious. I can't do my best Tom Brady, but he's
Oh
like,
no, that's not what I mean. I just mean like the quote itself.
The-
Do you think that that actually sounds like there's truth behind that?
I honestly I do like that just
Really?
sounds like a guy who's trying to recruit someone to his team and like using hyperbole, like.
Okay.
But you know that's not realistic. Nobody's gonna get like Travis Kelce doesn't get 10 to 12 receptions a game.
And if anybody would, it'd be him.
Yeah, like sure he does hit that sometimes, but it's not like he's like, oh, like it's gonna happen every game. Oh, like it's gonna be because it's all situational, right? Like you can't guarantee that you're gonna get 12 passes a game if the other team locks in on you.
Well,
It's just Antonio Brown making a bigger deal out of like small things than which has been his whole MO this whole time, right?
and the thing with Antonio Brown is obviously, I the thing that I think ran him out of the league is I think obviously he got older, he got worse, and by the time he obviously going to go back to this quote, the Bucks treated him like a dog. You got to look at it like this. On that Bucks team, he was the third, or maybe even depending on where you put Miller on that team, fourth
Okay.
receiver in that entire thing. Right?
He was better than Miller. He was better than Miller.
You think so? Anyway.
Give his he's a like he's crazy, but he was talented. Like
You still think okay? You know what? We don't need to go down this rabbit hole. But okay, third receiver. You have to realize as the third string receiver, even if you're the slot guy, even if you're the whatever, you're not going to be treated as the number one, which is what he expects everywhere he goes. Even if he signs somewhere now in his 30s, all these different things, he expects to be treated like he's that number one guy when he's just not. Like yeah, he's talented. Everybody knows that. Everybody's been saying that about Antonio Brown forever. But he's not the same guy he was when he was 25 even now, right? Or when he was on the Bucks either. Which is why it's just I feel like maybe Antonio Brown expected to be continuingly treated like he was the best receiver in the league when he wasn't even close. And I think that's kind of the thing most NFL players, I feel, or most any players in any sport, as they get worse, probably get a little bit more humble, become a little bit more okay with the idea of kind of playing behind a couple guys, becoming more of a leader. While Antonio Brown was like, no, or probably was, who knows, right? But in my head, that's what I picture whenever I think of Antonio Brown. I think of a guy who can't accept the fact that he's getting old and getting worse, and he just wants to be treated like the number one.
yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head. It's just classic narcissism. To him, he's the center of the entire world, and I think yeah, you're exactly right. He's getting older. He's not as good as he was in his Pittsburgh heyday, and he can't live with that fact. So he blames it on everybody else, right? It's just he's a classic narcissist. If I ever were to need to define narcissist for someone, you can just play the video of Antonio Brown running out of the stadium, right?
Can I play you some Antonio Brown lowlights?
Yeah.